Buckle up, Buttercup, it's Pittsburgh Sports Talk, and I think my jaw's all frozen, Mike. It's so cold out there. This is the first weekend of winter weather.
Yeah,
I know you've been flying out to Aspen and stuff, hanging out with supermodels.
I've been around, but it's been nice. I mean, it's been a little mild, but we got to brace for it come Saturday for this snowfall we're going to get. And then Monday, they're calling for what, the coldest day of the decade?
Yeah, like 7 below.
I got a 5 a.m. flight.
Where are you going?
Alabama. I'm going down to the Senior Bowl.
Oh, are you? Okay. See, that's what Mike does. I'm Tank Tanlier. He's Mike McMahon, former NFL quarterback, and my co-host. And Mikey's going down to the
Senior Bowl to meet with a few of my former coaches and discuss a few things.
Snows in Alabama,
I know. But I'm more worried about getting the flight out. We'll see what happens.
Well, we will see. We will know by Monday morning who wins the AFC and NFC championship games. All right, hey, we're doing a hard look into the mirror and looking at these 2018 Pittsburgh Steelers Anyway, they tied the Cleveland Clowns in week 1. Mike, that's all I can focus on is tying the Clowns. It all started, it all unraveled after you tied the Clowns in week 1.
Well, I think they were just caught. They weren't really, they expecting the normal Cleveland Browns.
They weren't prepared.
And I'll tell you what, the big shocker of that game to me was the rookie defensive back, Ward. He really stepped up, and I thought the defense for Cleveland was pretty solid throughout that entire game. And I felt that, although Tyrod Taylor scrambled quite a bit, I felt like he actually hurt them a little bit more when he was throwing the ball.
He threw for 109 yards.
I felt he had a few guys open, and I'm not saying that at that time, if Baker was in, would he have done better? I don't know, because he was a true rookie at that point, and that would have been his first game. That would have been difficult to say. But... yeah, man, I even said, I said, this game scares me a little bit.
You did when we were back in Latrobe.
You were right. Me. For whatever reason, the defense, Cleveland's defense they have a lot of talent over there. They had some good running game, and God forbid, I mean, they've got with the emergence of Nick Chubb over there now. Oh, look!
I love Chubb. Wish we had him.
They didn't even use him in the first game.
Yeah, the Browns. All right, back to breaking down positions. We're sticking to the offense right now. We went over Coach Fichtner's overall performance. He got a B. Talked about, James Conner gets an A+. A++, man.
Yeah, he still has some room for he wasn't perfect. He had a few fumbles, key fumbles late in the game.
You know what, though? The one in Denver, Mikey, was a legitimate fumble that they put the helmet on the ball. The guy followed through, and the awkwardness of Connor up in the air. Now, the Ridley fumble later in the year was a fumble where he just dropped it on the ground.
Well, although he had a great game in the first game against Cleveland, he fumbled near late in the end of the game with a wet ball. If you recall that as well. So you can't. Yes, James Conner stepped up big time. He ran hard. He hit the hole hard. To me, the best part about him was his blocking in the pass game. He did a great job.
Got better.
But yeah, again, a B+. You can't give him an A. With the fumbles. You got to hold on to the football in this league. You cannot turn it over.
The former pro quarterback is a lot more harder of a judge, but I respect your grade of James Conner and the running backs. Let's go to that offensive line, because one thing to me became very apparent, Mike, that Mike Munchak is an outstanding, and we already knew this, offensive line coach. Secondly, not tiptoeing around it and predicating it with the Steelers might be the best offensive line. Hands down, they were the best offensive line in the league this year. And it begs the question to be asked that I will ask you. Absolutely amazing. Le'Veon Bell holds out, blows $14 million right down the toilet. In steps James Conner, 1,000-yard season. Looks like Gale Sayers back there. How much attributable, even if that's a word, how much is this attributed to the offensive line being as good as they are, Mike?
Well, the offensive line, to me, they are, if not one of the best, lines in the league.
They're the best.
Them, the Rams. I mean, the way they are able to run the ball, next man up, and to me, I thought. James Conner, yes, he did a nice job. He hits the hole hard when he was running the ball, and you kind of saw, to me, I thought the Steelers kind of fed him early. When they got inside, early in the season, not late, because Denver, they got inside the 3-yard line they called, pass plays. But early in the year, against the Baltimore Ravens, against the second time against the Cleveland Browns and stuff, they were getting the ball down around the 3-yard line, and they were just pounding it. And they were doing it all the time. They'd throw it down there, then they'd pound it in. And they were making a statement. I felt like they were really getting James Conner's numbers up, showing, hey, look what this guy can do. We don't need Le'Veon Bell. And it was almost kind of making a statement like, hey, we've got our offensive line. We can plug in the next guy. And then when you saw, James Conner go down, Jalen Samuels next guy up. So it shows you how good that offensive line is.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
If Conner doesn't go down with that knee injury, are the Steelers in the playoffs?
No, no, because I don't think they really changed it. They didn't change much. They still ran the ball with Jalen Samuels. They just, as the year went on, they just started backing off the run a little bit, which surprised me.
56 passes in Denver.
Because when the second time they played against Baltimore, to me that was one of the best games they played, and it was one of the best games Coach Randy Fichtner called because it was a lot of passing, short game, getting the ball out quick, run the ball, screen game. They did it all. And Baltimore is arguably one of the best defenses in the NFL, and they put it on them. So
hold on, Suggs. I think this guy is taking something.
Yeah, I mean
he's ageless.
He's the Tom Brady of the defense. But I'm telling you, the Steelers, the offensive line, the run game, it's phenomenal. You get, to me, James Conner goes on to a team that doesn't quite have the same offensive line. I don't think he has the year he does.
He has a 600-yard season.
Samuels.
Yeah.
Yes, if Le'Veon Bell was there, yeah, I actually think they probably would have been a little better.
Oh, there's no doubt.
But again, but still, the offensive line, it's amazing. You get a really, really number one running back there. I think you can do really good things.
Unfortunately, and I want to talk about Munchak right now because, one, he is widely recognized as one of the greatest offensive linemen of all time. He has proven himself to be a great offensive line coach, and you have to predicate that not predicate it, but say this. The job he did with Alejandro Villanueva, and kudos to Villanueva, coming from the academy, playing defensive tackle or whatever, tight end, and he turns him into a blindside all-pro tackle. Mm-hmm. Now, David DeCastro came out of his mother's womb and said, I want to play football. Mm-hmm. This guy is a football player. Pouncey is a Pro Bowler. But you look at the Ramon Foster, who has developed, and Morshow, Gilbert. 5-6 years ago, Gilbert couldn't tie his shoe, chew gum, pass block, and I did not think the guy was going to make the roster. Mike Munchak turned him into a solid right tackle. Munchak is gone now.
Yeah, and Gilbert was injured a lot of the year.
Oh, Fiedler did a great job.
Just next man up, but yeah, again, I'm surprised.
B.J. Finney, Fiedler.
I'm surprised he's gone in the same role that he was here. That's the shocking part. Why you're not going up to coordinator, you're not going to head coach, you're going to the same roles you were with the Steelers. So I'm curious why. Why would you leave a good situation and you've already built that?
To me, it's very clear, Mike. It is team turmoil. The cancer is growing. When you look at Mike Munchak, again, a guy who is a winner. Mm-hmm. A guy who is a great football player, a guy who has developed a great offensive line. You and I both know there's good coaches, there's bad coaches. Good coaches like Tony Dungy's, Bill Belichick's, they have a certain credo, a certain ethic, a certain way of doing things that develop successful players and winning franchises. If you took a highly motivated winning coach who knew what he was doing and who was good, and you put him in a circus act like the Pittsburgh Steelers have become, He simply says, I've had enough of this because I surround myself with winners and good people. I don't like the direction of the team. I don't like how its head coach takes care of the team. So therefore, I'm going to make a lateral move to Denver. The big talk this week was, oh, he did it for his family. He did it because of this and that. Okay, I don't buy it. Maybe Denver paid him a little bit more money, which I would to get Mike Munchak. In my humble opinion, and we'll never know the answer because he is a class act, Mike Munchak left because of team turmoil, because of the circus, because, and we'll talk about this later, this team is done. The Tomlin era number 1 is now done. And we're going to get into this later. In Pittsburgh Sports Talk, I'm your host, Randy the Tank Dantlinger. He is the quarterback, Mike McMahon. We're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers 2018 debacle, going through some positions, talking about Mike Munchak. But, Mike, nobody's going to change my opinion. I mean, if you're a winner, you don't want to be around a bunch of losers.
Well, again, I mean, that's all speculation. You don't know if that's the reason or not.
I do. He wrote me a letter.
If it is the reason, then you got to look at, you look at Coach Tomlin. And here's the thing. Coach Tomlin was a guy that came up under Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy's groomed him. Coach Tomlin is a great motivator. He gets those guys going. How many times did the Steelers fall behind early, but he got them to rally to come back? So he does a great job at that. Coach Tomlin has that discipline in him, but when he took over, he had a team with a lot of veteran leadership already there. So there wasn't a lot that needed to be said. And so the team kind of was able to police itself in the locker room. And now what's happened, a lot of those veteran leaders are gone. You got, a lot of guys, a lot of younger guys, and even, there's some egos on the team that, they want more credit than it needs to be. And I think now is a perfect time for Coach Tomlin to step up, from what he's learned from Coach Tony Dungy, from his tree. And I think he will. I think he'll step up.